Hello, my name is Stefania. I'm a BIM coordinator at Andrade Gutierrez, and I'm here today to explain how we are using virtual design and construction during the bidding stage of our projects. To start, this is our agenda. The presentation is divided in these topics, so we're going to start by a little introduction, followed by the theory of the bidding process and its challenges, followed by the VDC concepts. Then, I'm going to show you our case studies on this matter, ending with our conclusions and results. Nowadays, there has been an increasing interest in applying VDC concepts in the AEC industry, but there is a lack of successful implementation strategies. Most of the applications we often see is focused on construction stages, representing a gap concerning the bidding stages. The term was defined by SIFE at Stanford University in 2001, and it can be defined as the use of multidisciplinary performance models of design construction projects, including the product, work processes, and organization of the design construction operation team in order to support business objectives. As you can see in the figure, it combines building information modeling, BIM, and project production management, PPM, that by the review of metrics and by the occurrence of the integrated concurrent engineering, the so-called I sessions, support project and client objectives. So the main questions we wanted to answer during this study were: 1. How can VDC be implemented during the bidding stages of infrastructure projects? 2. What are the benefits of implementing VDC during the bidding stages? And finally, number 3, what are the barriers against it? Previous research on VDC theory highlighted 5 important topics for its implementation. First of all, collaboration and integration are crucial. Many of VDC components can be applied independently of the other, but it's the combination of them that presents the highest potential. Secondly, there is evidence that standards and templates promote promptness, flexibility, and reliability. This is important because in the third point, we see that BIM functionalities can be applied in pre-construction, and the faster they are generated and evaluated, the better. Moving on, co-location is also advisable to reduce latency and foster knowledge sharing. By co-locating the different team members, it is possible and easier to align different interests, objectives, standards, workflows, etc. These are all points that enable a better understanding of the project. Therefore, a better performance should be expected. Once we've discussed about VDC, let's then move to the bidding process. The bidding stage of a project often requires estimators to do the interpretation of 2D documents, manually extracting information to cost estimations. It is common that information during the bidding stages of a project is nor accurate nor complete, which, added to the human limited capability to process information, can generate significant amount of uncertainty. Moreover, the accuracy of the interpretation and information extraction needed often rely on the estimator's experience, resulting in a manual, time-consuming, and error-prone process. Therefore, finding ways of reducing uncertainty by decreasing manual activities and subjectivity would result in a faster and more accurate bidding process. Let's now start with the discussion of our case studies. The first one was a bulk terminal bidding. As there was no 3D or BIM model available on the inputs from the client, a design company was subcontracted to do the modeling based on the 2D documentation provided. Physical collocation was not possible as the design team was based approximately 500 kilometers from Andrade Gutierrez headquarters, so video conferences were scheduled as an alternative to do the ICE sessions. After training the stakeholders and establishing the first version of the project's modeling guidelines, a series of workshops was done to conceive a detailed workflow with the tasks that should be accomplished in order to achieve and control the VDC objectives, as shown in the figure. Below, you can see the simulation of one of the planning scenarios. The results of this case study were, on one hand, we had the first versions of VDC application workflows and of the BIM modeling guidelines that didn't exist before, as well as the conception of different planning scenarios, which was one of the metrics to be assessed. On the other hand, we had difficulties concerning the model compliancy to the guidelines. The model tree was different from work and planning breakdown structures. Issues when converting the IFC model due to the lack of interoperability between the softwares used and difficulties in assessing the metrics. Now turning to case study number 2, this was the bid of a LNG terminal in which 2 different design companies did the BIM modeling. We have used the workflows and templates created for the previous case study as a basis to the approaches here. Improvements were made and we also got much more detailed workflows for the design steps. The metrics were assessed and discussed during the ICE sessions, and they helped us see where the problems were and therefore elaborate action plans to solve them. We have also conceived different planning scenarios to this bid. The results of this case study were: the templates proved themselves to be very effective, as it was easier to define the modeling guidelines and to explain what the VDC implementation workflow should be. The 6 ICE sessions performed brought collaboration to a higher level, and the review of the metrics with the teams during the meetings was essential to the success of the implementation. We have also noticed a higher maturity level compared to the first case study. No bad results were found, and all the team had a sense of achievement on this project. Moving on to my last slide, I share with you the results of our implementation. First of all, it was thought that the tight schedules of the bids would prevent the application of the methodology, but this was proven wrong. We noticed that the templates, workflows, and standards do facilitate VDC implementation, as you could see during the presentation. The review of metrics was crucial to a better alignment and a shift in performance, for the better. Some other benefits revolved around a clearer understanding of the overall process and deliverables of the teams, as well as their integration. Regarding the challenges, it could not be minimized that implementing VDC involves the change of habits and cultures, changing the way people usually get things done. This should be treated carefully. We also had challenges regarding interoperability, as the IFC schema is not developed to consider some infrastructure objects. I kindly appreciate your attention. Thank you for your time. I would be happy to answer your questions, and if you have any doubts or comments, you can reach me by my email address. Thank you very much.